Good afternoon to a very chilly Sunday afternoon in Cumbria. Right, so today is day 18 and 19's Christmas and Yuletide Advents. So what we got, so this is yesterday's. On a second, I'll just turn that light away a bit so you can see the colours of this. So there's lichen and moss green. There's a lovely dusky blue in there. There's little soft hints of pink in it as well. And it is a BFL with kid mohair. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It really, really, really is so soft. A lovely fibre there to play with. And it has got the slightest little sheen in it. But it is great. It's a really lovely wool to work with. And I am going to use it today along with day 19's Wensleydale locks. There we go. So I'm using them today to make a Waldorf inspired fairy. Oh, I need to turn this light a bit. So I know she's got a little bit OTT. She's had a perm. So I've used on this doll. I've used the locks to form her dress, and little wiry arms, and I've used it in her hair as well. So I am going to put a little loop in there, either that or I'm going to open up the bottom of it and put her on top of my Christmas tree. She's got a little kiss curl coming out on the fringe. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. I will speed up quite a bit this video, but if you want to find links to go and find on YouTube to watch how to do it a bit better. To be fair, to do these style dolls, a lot of them are done in foreign languages, so they don't really talk and they do fast forward them quite a bit. But I will get you started and then see how you go from there. I'm quite happy to maybe do a video with you at a later date, but it's a Sunday afternoon. I'm starting to really lose the light in my living room. I've just had my friend here who I've not seen. She's one of my clients that turned into a really good friend of mine, and she was here this afternoon, so I'm running a little bit late on getting this video done, but it will be uploaded today. So yeah, so a Waldorf inspired fairy. Okay. So there's a lot of wrapping in this, so what you will need is a good wool, a roving. You can use carded core wool. Don't use the loose core wool, use a carded core wool, because it's just easier. You need a little bit of length, be able to pull the lengths and stuff like that for wrapping around for the body and on the arms. And if you've got the really loose stuff that you can just pull out in clumps, then not saying that you can't do it, but it's just a bit more fiddly because you want to try and stretch out lengths of it to wrap around the arm, to wrap around the head, and to cross over on the body parts as well. Plus you'll want it for the dress. So I'm using Kent Romney. I'm going to use some of today's roving to embellish the front of my dress, and I've got my Wensleydale locks for my hair, and I'm going to be using this reddy sort of pinky coloured, I think it's actually alpaca with merino blend that I've just pulled from upstairs, because there's bits of pinks in there. I just wanted a little bit different sat on the top of this. So and you want some pipe cleaners. Now I've got a variety of different size pipe cleaners. I've got the small ones, these long ones. Now the small ones, where did I get these from? I may have ordered them from Amazon, right? The long ones I get from the works. You get a massive pack. I think it's usually about 20 of these long ones in there for £1. And I also get in these from Hobbycraft, but I use these for doing amateur felt in, so the figures where I need the wires in for the legs and things like that on birds and chickens and stuff. So you've got these fine wires, and these are actually florist wires. You can get them from Hobbycraft in the UK. And also these coloured wires, full lengths. There's 15 in a pack, and that was from the works. So the little cheap bookshop that does the little craft aisle as well. That's where I got all them from. So that's the best place to go to. So I'm just going to grab one of these wires, and I'm not going to need the full length of one. a sec. I need to trim this down a little bit. You want something that is going to be, I'm trying to think, tape measure. Do you know, need my tape measure. Need my tape measure or a measure of some sorts. Bear with me a second. Iona, please go lie down. Right, hold a sec. It's always the same. You think you're prepared and you weren't. Right, so this is 14, 28. Right, so if I take it to 30 centimetres, should be more than enough. And I just need to get a pair of scissors that will quite happily snap these. I want to go lie down. Alright, there we go. The wire's really thin in them, so an old pair of kitchen scissors does the job that I need it to do. Okay, so set that to one side for now. You'll need your felting needles, but to be fair, I think just go for, if you've got single ones, use your single holders, and you want quite a coarse needle, though I think that is a triangular needle, and I think that's just a standard gauge 38 on that one. So you just want to get your length of wool. I'm just going to start this and do the head. So I don't need masses of it. I'm going to split this length, which is about 30 centimetres, in half. Put one piece to one side, and then I'm going to split it in half again, and then I'm going to roll a little head shape. So I'm just going to literally, and to be fair, that's probably too much anyway, so I'm going to split it again. And I'm going to start rolling this like a little, just like a little sausage all the way up, and tucking in my fibres as I go. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, you can. So tucking my fibres in as I go. And a bit more, and a bit more. Just this last bit, and you're making the head, so you know it's going to be, you've got to get it so it goes round anyway. So let's just stab that in there, and then just curve it around and start creating a ball for your head. Now don't worry if you can still see like wedges and creases, because you've got to cover it over in a minute, all right? Right, so ooh, that's as round as I'm going to get it. I'm just going to, that's a bit bright, that light, isn't it? Right, so I want to get the piece that I'd split in the beginning, and I want to fan that out a little bit that way, fan this out a little bit, we'll just move that away, that way, and then get the other piece that you had, split that again in half, and then just open it up a little bit, fan it over that direction, and open that bit up a bit there, and then fan that off that direction. Get your little head, plonk it in the middle, and gather all your wools up around it, okay? Right, so you end up with a little ball head. And then pull out a very thin strand of fibre, grip it with one hand and wrap it around where the suggested neck would be. Okay, and then felt that into place. Okay, and then just start felting in and creating more of a round shape. Right, okay, so there is my head and body. Now I'm going to get my wire, so I'm going to grab the one that I cut and I'm going to slightly off center, okay, wrap the arms around that section that you made, and one more that you made into a neck, so it's like that. Okay, then you want to just shape, you're going to have your arms fold over it like that at some point in a minute when you start to wrap your wool around it. Okay, so from that point, just move this over here a bit and move my glass. There we go. So from that point you want to then get your roving again. Oh, bear with me a minute, that flaming cat. Tell you what, when you're trying to do something that you want to do, the kids, the cats, the dogs, they're all worse. They don't leave you in peace, do they? Right, so at your roving, there's your centre section. Pull that apart, put a piece aside, and then pull it apart again. Put that to one side, and then pull it apart again. Okay, and then you want to just draft it out a bit so it ends up thinner and longer. Okay, there we go. So what I want to do is start from here. I'm not going to be needle felting this at all, and then just twist this piece so it sits down on the pipe cleaner, and then wrap it evenly halfway down her arm. Just, oh, I'm trying to do this. In such a way that I don't get myself in a tangle. So you're pinching and holding, so you pull, twist round, pull and twist round, pull and twist round, and just keep that fibre as flat as possible as you're pulling it around the actual pipe cleaner. Okay, now get your hand section. See how I've got that all wrapped around there? It's not neat and tidy, it doesn't really matter. Okay, you've got more time, I'm just showing you how I did this. Now I'm going to go just throw my wool back up this end, so I end up with that section of that bend just there. That's her hand now, and now I need to get this wool all the way down the rest of her arm without it trapping on her head or on the dress. Okay, and just pull that wool down a little bit and just keep going until her entire arm is covered. And if you find any little spots that look a bit Baldo weaker. Just quickly run up the last of those fibres up there. There we go. And then where you've just finished off that last piece, and that is all the needle pricking that you'll be wanting to do on that. Okay, that's it, no more. Okay, so I'm going to do the other arm. I'll just turn this down so you can see what I'm doing, and I'll catch you in a minute. So I'm just going to put a bit more. So I've just crossed over this roving, and I'm going to place it on the top of my doll's head. I'm just going to push those arms down a minute, and I'm going to felt that into place. I've got another piece to wrap around the little neck. A little stab in the back of that, just to hold these fibres in place. Okay, so next is about building up the body. Okay, so I'm just going to move these arms out. Okay, so I'll just put that there. Now I'm going to get some of this roving that I've got left over, and I'm just going to do a little bit of drafting out of a thin fibre. I'm going to put that over the back and hold my hand in place behind the wires, and then I'm going to come around the shoulder once and twice. I'm going to draft as I'm doing it, and then come round the other side and go up over the other shoulder. Okay, so honestly, I'm going to put this light up a little bit and see if this helps. Right, so I've gone over one shoulder once and then twice, and then I come round the waist and over the other shoulder and under the arm and over that shoulder again. Don't worry, I will be doing this again. I'll be doing it a couple of times. And then just hold that into place. So again, get your roving. Hold it between her shoulder blades. There. And just draft that out a little bit because you don't want it too thick. Now bring around under the arm, over the shoulder, and pull it tight, or taut, not tight, and then bring it round the waist, under the other arm, and then this shoulder that I haven't touched yet, I'm going to bring the wool round under the arm and back over the shoulder. And that's that. That's it. A couple of stabs. As long as you've got those fibres nice and tautly wrapped around, not tight, taut, then it will hold in place. And you're going to put more layers on this anyway. So I'm just going to get some more roving. Split that section, split it in half, and this time I'm going to wrap this around the actual body and start creating this trunk area. Okay, so this time I'm going to pinch it behind the shoulder, and I'm just going to wrap around the waist, and a bit more. Come down a little second, and a bit more. And I'm literally just going to pin that loose piece into the back, and then we're starting to build up the length of her body. So another piece, and I'm going to go over this shoulder, hold that in place, just draft this out a bit so I don't end up with too many chunky bits, right under the arms, around the waist, around the waist, and there we go, bit of felting in that place there. Easy. Okay, can you see how she's built up? Hold on a minute. Her waist has been built up, and it's literally just in wrapped sections. So what I do is I get the roving and I place it here with my finger, the start of it, and then I will wrap it from there around the front, and I'll bring it back round and over my finger round there, back round the waist, and then around the waist, okay, and then up and over the next shoulder, over this shoulder here and around, and then pin it in place. And then with the waist, I literally just use one shoulder just to hold it there at the section, and then use the support of the arms to hold this bit in place. Okay, so her body's just about there. I think I will do 2 more wraparounds over the shoulders and then call it quits on the actual building. So I'll do this close up. So I pin her fibres in the back in between her shoulder blades, wrap it over this area here, over that shoulder, wrap it round the waist and come up over the other shoulder, pin that in place. Okay, get my other bit, draft it out a little, hold it on the front, okay, over the opposite shoulder. Oh, we've just done that side. No, we haven't. There we go. So over the opposite shoulder, wrap around her waist, widen it off all the way around and over this shoulder and around the waist. Okay, so now I'm just going to do some little finishing touches. I'm just going to define this neck a little bit. You really can't see that much, can you? Just really start felting in around the neck, trying to thin that off a little bit. Not that it makes much difference anyway, but this, move that arm out the way. Just want to make sure that all my sections are in place, they're not going to fall apart. There we go. Just do a bit more around the neck, under the arms. Okay, under there. And now I'm going to start layering to build up the colour and put a waist on there. Okay, right. Next, start to add the colours onto the fairy. Go lie down. So I've split that roving in half, you just seen. Sorry, the dog's winding me up today. Split that again in half, and then these 2 last pieces I'm saving. I'm going to now wrap the arm. So you might just want to draft it out a little bit, okay? Because you don't need it thick. You want a nice thin bit because you are wrapping. So again, like first time, I'm going to do a slight angle on my wool, and I'm going to start underneath where the bend was. That's my wrist here, okay, and then I'm going to work my way down the arm making sure that I cover, oh, do you know, over and over and over. Cover the arm, just pull and wrap at the same time. It is fiddly, so just be patient with yourself and just keep fiddling or wrapping it around until you get to the bottom, and then this last strand, just wrap it around the side, felt it in, felt the back. Okay, like that. Okay, do the other one as well. That last piece, that really thin piece that you got left. Start up at the wrist at a slight angle and come around underneath where the hand section is, and then keep wrapping it around. Try and keep it nice and firm in the wrapping and keep going until you get up to the elbow there, and now to the armpit section, just pulling it gently as you go. Okay, and then over the back of the shoulder, around the waist, and just give it a couple of little pokes to seal it in place. Go around the back. Okay, and up on the shoulder. Right, so that bit's done. Now I want to do a half and half, and I'm going to wrap over the shoulder one way, and don't mind if it goes over the shoulders of that there, okay, and then wrap it around the waist here. Felt it into place, and then get your other bit, waft it out a little, and again start down here at her waist, over the shoulders, around her waist, just lift her arm out the way, and felt that into place there. Right, there we go. So I'm just going to felt up in around the shoulder area here, just to tidy it up. Now I'm going to get some more, and I'm going to wrap it around her midriff like so. Try and get it underneath her arms. Right, I can't get it under her arms, I'll try again. I'm just gonna felt that in there, felt it under her arms. I just want to try and cover up some of the white a bit more. And then wrap it around the top of her shoulders. Right. Okay. Next, I'm gonna got the roving here again, so I'm just going to split one piece into up a few thinner pieces. I'm going to split this piece here. Now I want to felt this to start creating the skirt. No, I don't. Hold on a minute. I want to get my roving, and I'm going to flip it over. There's her waist, and I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to needle felt it into this solid waist section at the bottom. I'm going to get that in there. Right, and I'm going to just move that arm up a bit. I'm going to get some more, and I want to wrap it all the way around where the waist goes. I think I could probably get away with one more. Oh, one more full section. Just make sure they touch each side. Right, once I've done that, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go into the wool that we've just felted in, and I'm just going to ever so carefully felt that in at a slight angle underneath the waist section. I'll come up close in a minute and I'll show you where I'm on about. I'll just get most of it done. So you're sort of creating a dress, but using the roving, the undyed roving, or you can use coloured roving if you want to. I just grabbed this when I was upstairs. Right, so where the waist is, so I'd already, there's the bits that you saw me felting down, and I've just put it in there, and then I've folded it over. And now I'm just felting in at the top of that wool to hold it into place. Okay, so now we have this long plume. Okay, long plume of fibre. So there's the beginnings of it. You can see it's nearly there. So what I'm going to do is get some of this, and I'm going to use the exact same principle of what I've just done then, but this way I'm doing it the opposite direction. So this time I want to pin this at the waist, and then fold that over so it creates a top layer. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to do another one around here, draft it out the tiniest little bit, and again where I know my waist is, I'm just going to pinch these fibres into place, and then fold that top bit back over and felt that and pinch it into place there. Okay, and I'm going to do one more little bit extra. So again, use that there. The waistline's just sitting there. So try and not stab my fingers, because I think I've stabbed my fingers and drawn blood 3 times doing these fairies today. It's not like I don't know how to do them. I used to make them all the flaming time. But never trust a felting needle. It's always wanting to draw blood. Right, then fold it over and tuck it in up the top. Now I'm going to get some of the roving that I got today in my advent calendar. So I'm just going to break some of that off there. Fluff it out a little bit. And I'm going to do the exact same principle up the top here and tuck that in. And then fold this bit over. I can layer that up in a minute. It's a bit small. Oh. Got quite a large piece here, so I need to just open the fibres up a little bit on this. I'm going to try and create a pretty little point at the bottom. Wift it out. Go back up to my waist. Keep about an inch at the top there above my fingers. I'm going to fold that back over in a second. And again, fold it over. Now don't worry about where you felt in, because we're going to put a little bit of a belt around her waist in a minute, so you won't notice. So I'm just going to stab my needle in there. I'll probably put another piece on this because there's quite a lot of white coming through, and don't mind the white, that's not the problem, but I don't want to see lots of it. Just give that a little draft out, open up the fibres a little, and back up to where my waist should be. I'm just going to pinch that in there a little. Oh, go away. So you can see I've just pushed that up there, and there's the waist here, and I'm just needle felting in at the waist on a pinch, and then I'm going to fold this over like that, and then felt that back into the waist, and I just put my needle in and try and pin that down onto the actual fibres. And now, see, I think I'll go over this one again. I did have a section that I pulled that from, didn't I? I'm just going to draft this piece out. Okay, go back into the waist up the top here, but I'm just going to try and pinch it a little bit, just a little bit, just to help build up this layer. Pull that over. Right, so I've done that. Now I'm going to get this red again. I don't want lots of it. I'm going to just draft that out just the tiniest little bit, and I'm going to wrap it around her waist to help create a belt. But I don't mind if this piece is hanging down the back here. Oh. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to wrap it around her belly, pinching where all these pieces have been. I'm going to see if I can get it around twice. Pinch, pinch, pinch all the way around, and then bring it over the back and felt that into place. Okay, and with that I'm going to create a little bow, I think. So one loop, 2 loops. There we go. So I've got a little bow there. I'm going to put that on the back. And just go in with your needle. Though it's really airy inside there, it will, if you have a coarse needle, it will drag through the other fibres from underneath. So I'm just going to point these out, point this section out, point this one all together, and that one. So we've got a little bow on the back of her dress. I want to okay, hair next. Hair's the easiest piece. Okay, so you get your locks and find the middle, and as you're doing this, don't worry if you've got little matted pieces. These are actually the best bits because they help you decide how to shape a face. So you want the hair sitting literally on the brow of her head, and you're just going to put that in place. And then I want to get another piece, and I'm going to lift this lock up, and I'm going to put the other piece underneath. I'm just going to literally, that's just to build up the base there, see? Okay, and now I can push that hair down, and now I'm going to find some more pieces. See, this one's got lots of little locks attached to it, so I'm just going to put that round about the same area at the back. I felt that into place. Finish off felting this piece. You can tidy it off in a minute. Alright, I want some more, another bit on the top there. Right, another bit. I'm going to stick that across there so it looks like actually this side here. Just twizzle it around. Just have a little play about your locks and see which one looks best where. I'm going to move these locks around and just tidy up this little bit here. And geese flying over the house. Bit early. Right, so I'm going to cover up this back. A bit more on the top here. Oh. And just don't do the locking all the way along because you're in the back then, but just do it down to about the base of the head, and that'll just ever so gently. You really don't need to put any effort or attitude into it whatsoever. I'm going to add a bit more grey to this other side, and I think that'll be me just about done. There we go. Oh no, I think I've got a bit of a bald, little tiny bit of a bald spot here. So I'm just gonna take that off there. we go. Well, so much for me not talking. Let me just straighten you up a little bit. So much for me not talking. But there you go. One Waldorf inspired doll with a little arm in moving arms. Do you know, I just can't get the light right today. Can you see that? Nope, too bright under there. There we go. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I will make sure that I'm upstairs in the workshop when next time I do this, or do one of these. But there you go. So you can just make out her little bow in the back underneath her hair. There you are. So that's what I've done with day 18 and 19. I have created some little Waldorf inspired Christmas ornaments. So all I would do now is get myself some wool or some thread or something and just put them, stitch them in the top or needle felt them in the top, and then I can hang them up wherever I want in the house. Yeah, quite happy with those. So anyway, thank you. I'm off. I will see you probably Tuesday, and I will do 20 and 21 together, because I did the next few days as quite a few. I think there's another 2 packs of locks to go. So I thought, well, I'll do some more different bits and pieces, and I am filming wet felt in gloves during the week as well, so I can put that on Saturday for Christmas Day Advent for your 100-gram bat. I'll be doing mittens, but I'll be filming that in advance, so you can watch it whenever you find 20 minutes peace and quiet on Saturday. So there we go. I'm off. Have a nice evening. Take care. Bye bye.